It's James here from goodguitarist.com, and in today's lesson I want to show you a song that I use sort of as an exercise for students who are trying to get into bar chords. This is one of the first steps we take. We're using the song Hit the Road Jack, and we're actually playing the Stampeders version of it. It's originally written by Ray Charles, but this band named the Stampeders, they play it in a different key, which works really well as an exercise that will help us get into bar chords eventually. The whole thing is hinged around this movable shape called the power chord. And the power chord is the basis for the bar chord, and it's used in like a ton of rock songs. You know, like it's used everywhere. Like, you know, it's in everything. So it's really good to know on its own, but it's also the bottom part of the bar chord. So we have our power chord, and then we just add some stuff to it, we get a full bar chord, you know, so it's a really good way to get into it. Along the way, if you find that you need any extra help with this, I recommend checking out the free trial for my bar chord course because it does cover the power chord and it'll help you with that. Otherwise, let's get started. Let's just jump right in. Here's how it goes, nice and slow. So that's just one shape, and I'm moving it along the fretboard. We can make the shape by putting our first finger on the 5th fret of the thickest string, and remember to use the tip of your finger. If you use the flat part, you'll have to press really hard, but if you use the tip, you can save some energy. Now, on the next string, we're going to put our ring finger at the 7th fret. Then we're going to put our pinky finger just underneath it on the 7th fret of the D string. So from thickest, 5, 7, 7. Now, we would play this shape 2 times, just 2 downstrokes. Then we go that way by 2 frets. So 1, 2. And when you're moving this shape, there's a tendency for some students where like these fingers get kind of left behind. Make sure that there's always 1 fret of space between them. You know, so this is on the 3rd fret. These 2 fingers are on the 5th fret. That's our next shape. 2 times. And then we do that same thing. We go down until our first finger is on the 1st fret. These 2 fingers are on the 3rd fret. And we go down, up. And then we do that again. But you notice your first finger kind of runs out of space. You can just lift it up. And these 2 fingers are on the 2nd fret. Just 1 time for that. So let's just recap. I'm just going to say the fret number that my first finger is touching. And that's how I want you to think about it too. I want your eyes to follow your first finger. That's the leader. These 2 fingers are just helping to complete the shape. But this finger is the most important. It's playing the roots, even without the shape. You know, it sounds like the song, right? That's the root. So just to recap it. 5, 5, 3, 3, 1, 1, 0. I want you to take a moment with that, keeping in mind that sliding the shape and keeping it all together, that's your main goal. That's what you want to do, because eventually when you move into bar chords, you're going to be able to, you know, play them all over the neck and be able to keep that shape together. You know, if you just move 1 finger and then you got to make the whole shape again, you know, it takes way too long. You want to get used to just holding it, that claw shape, you know, just having it where you need it to be. So I want you to just take a moment, pause the video, try that out. And when you're ready, we can figure out how to add the rhythm and get it sounding nice and perfect like the song. So we start off at the 5th fret, and counting out, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and. So the first bit is super straightforward. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like the simplest that rhythm ever gets. Then once we get here, we have to go 1 and. So that's down, up. 1 and 2 and. So that's the tough part with this one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we start all again. So recapping. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And if you're having trouble with this rhythm, I recommend counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That way you get like a sort of grid. You know, you're actually counting the time at that point. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you just line up certain strokes with certain bits of the counting. You can see that above. That's how I recommend nailing this rhythmically. And once you can do that, there's one tiny little finishing touch. We want to play these long, short. And to do a short one is really simple. We can just hit it and then release the pressure with our chord hand. And that's something that you can do with movable shapes like the power chord and with bar chords. See how short that was? You know, with an open chord, if I release the pressure, the open strings are still ringing. Whereas with bar chords or with power chords, when you release the pressure, you get a nice short chord shot. So we go long, short, long, short, long, short, long, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. And that'll make it sound a lot groovier, you know, a lot more like the song. So take some time with that, and when you're ready, we can play through this whole thing together nice and slow. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Alright, so that's a really simple way to play Hit the Road Jack, and you know, it'll get you into it. You can always expand upon it. If you want to learn the Ray Charles version, I also have a video for that. We do like a finger style thing. It's definitely a bit tougher than this, but it's not too bad, so if you want to expand on it, you're welcome to. Don't forget to take advantage of my free resources. There's my free ebook covering lead guitar that shows you the power chord, how to move it around the fretboard, and I also have a free preview of my bar chord course that you can take that'll help you out with this. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.